Okay. So in the last session, we have seen up to ledger creation under the completion, right? We have seen the status as confirmed. Now, with this ledger, if you want to create any transactions, how to create, we'll see. After that, we'll proceed with the concept called as how to design the solution. So if you want to create the transactions by using this primary ledger within the general ledger application, you can assign roles to user. So assign GL roles to user. After assigning the GL roles to user, the same primary ledger we need to assign to this roles. So assign primary ledger to GL roles. And to create the transactions in the GL application by using this primary ledger, we have to open the GL periods. Open GL periods. After opening, and create transaction. The transaction is nothing but as per GL, whatever we create that we call as journal. Reality, we don't create transactions in the GL. Okay, any kind of adjustment entries only we pass. Most of the data we get from subledger applications to GL in the form of journal. Okay. So going forward, we can understand all these points. You take these points now. So we'll go and assign GL roles to user. We have seen application implementation consultant and IT security manager roles. These two roles we assign to our user. With the help of those roles only, we are able to do these setups and we are able to create the users. If you want to work on general ledger application, we have to assign general ledger application related roles to user so that the user can have access to general ledger application or call it a GL application. Now, what are the roles we have for GL application? We'll see. The roles what Oracle is providing always we call as seeded roles. Say GL seeded roles. Okay. Assign GL seeded roles to user. We are using the user called as Job. All the setups we completed with the name called as MX, but still we are using user called as Joom. Later we can change it. For now, we'll go and assign the roles to the same user. Okay, go to Tools, Security Console. Go to Users, and username is Joom. Click on username or display name. Only these two roles are assigned. With this, we can do the setups. You cannot create any transactions. If you want to create the transactions in the GL, we have to assign the GL roles to user. If you want to create the transactions in the inventory, we have to assign the inventory roles. If you want to create the transactions in the purchasing application roles, we have to assign to this user. Now, we are just ready with the primary ledger only. If you want to create the transactions within the inventory, within the purchasing, within the payables, or in other applications, our primary ledger is not enough. We have to create something else. What is that? We will discuss very soon. Now, with the primary ledger, you can create the transactions only in the GL. So to assign the GL roles to this user, click on Edit. Just click on Edit and click on Add Role. So assign roles, search for the role called as the General Accounting Manager. Okay, General Accounting Manager. Here you can see the role name as a General Accounting Manager. The same you could see here also. Okay, the same name you can see. Two records, but you can find the difference between these two. General Accounting Manager role code is GL General Accounting Manager And here general accounting manager role code is starting with ORA GL general accounting. So the difference is it is not starting with ORA as a prefix, and this role code is starting with ORA. So when you talk about GL, if you find two roles with the same name, always you prefer to select the role code which is starting with ORA. Now I'm selecting the role called as General Accounting Manager, ORA GL General Accounting Manager role. Select it. The same role somebody copied. Here you can say General Accounting Manager copy. We'll have one session how to copy the roles, how to create the new roles. But now we don't need to touch this. Whatever Oracle is providing, you can assign to the user. This is a seeded one, General Accounting Manager. Just click on Add Role Membership. Fine. There are few roles related to GL, but we don't need all those roles. We are not going to work on the financials application. Our focus is on supply chain management and procurement. So this one role is enough. Okay, whatever we have to understand when we are going to work on financial and from financials. Okay, so this role is enough because we are going to work on SCM. So assign General Accounting Manager. The reality Oracle is providing 5 seeded roles for GL, but those we don't need at all. Say save and close. To this role, you have to assign our primary ledger. Okay. We assign which roles? General Accounting Manager. We have 4 more roles. Total 5 roles Oracle is providing for GL. So if you assign all the roles to GL, you will be able to work on different GL related application features. But we are not going to work. GL is part of finance. So what are the basics we want to understand from GL? That we are going to see, that's all. Now to this role, we have to assign our primary ledger. Done. To assign our primary ledger to this GL role, we have to use one task. You tell me what we selected at the time of primary ledger. Chart of accounts or chart of account structure instance. What we selected. Instance we selected. Why we selected instance? Why not chart of account structure? When you create primary ledger, you cannot find chart of account structure. You can find only instance. If you want to use the chart of account structure, you should create instance. That means whatever the chart of account structure we have, to use the chart of account structure, we are creating instance. Now what we created? We created primary ledger, right? In the last session, we created primary ledger and we completed primary ledger. When you create the primary ledger, the moment you complete, system creates the same as a copy. By copying the chart of account structure, we created chart of account structure instance that we did through manual process. But in the system, what happens is, we created our primary ledger, say primary ledger. The primary ledger we created with the name Amex USA primary ledger. We created with this name. When you create the primary ledger with this name, the moment you complete, remember this point, the moment you complete, when you submit that primary ledger for completion, automatically system will create data access set, the same name, Amex USA primary ledger. Chart of accounts we copied and we created chart of account structure instance, the instance we are using as a part of primary ledger. So when you create primary ledger, the moment you complete the primary ledger, system will copy our primary ledger and it will create one definition called as data access set. Now we have to assign this data access set to our GL role. Okay. You cannot assign the primary ledger to GL roles. Okay. You cannot use chart of account structure at the time of primary ledger creation. If you want to use the chart of account structure, create chart of account structure as instance, you copy and create instance, the instance only you can select. The same concept is applicable here. If you create the primary ledger, directly you cannot use this primary ledger to assign to the GL roles. The copy of primary ledger, that is nothing but data access set. The data access set only you can assign to GL roles. There are many technical reasons, okay, because Oracle integrated with the different application, different solutions they are providing with respect to GL integration with other applications and the different product which they are using, what Oracle acquired and all. To work with all those applications, this concept, they are following this like a copying functionality for chart of account structure. Okay, chart of account structure, just whenever you create the chart of accounts, you cannot use directly, you have to create copy, that only you can use. That copy definition is required to work on certain concepts across the applications, different applications. So here, the definition is system is copying our primary ledger as a data access set. Remember this. Now this data access set we have to assign to our primary ledger. Okay. The data access set is nothing but primary ledger that we have to assign to GL role. When you say primary ledger, it is nothing but data access set. Just remember. We always call as a primary ledger because this is a copy of primary ledger. So this task already we completed. Now we are going to assign primary ledger to GL roles. Reality, that is not primary ledger data access set, but the data access set is created based on our primary ledger. Now here you can understand both are same. Okay, names are different, but inside what we have, both are same. We'll go and see whether system created data access set with the same name as our primary ledger name. We'll go and check first. We created only primary ledger. We never created data access set. We'll go and check whether system created or not. Go to our implementation project, search for data access sets. Task name is manage data access sets. Click on this task. Click on go to task icon. Here you can find our primary ledger, the same name as a data access set. Amex USA primary ledger. Enter. So this is our primary ledger only. The primary ledger on a system copied as a data access set. Now you can click on our primary ledger name, nothing but data access set name. Click on this. How system created our primary ledger as a data access set? For a data access set name, it is taking our primary ledger name only, it is taking as a data access set name. Access set type is full ledger, means entire ledger access. Everything you can access what we have in this ledger if you use this data access set. And within our primary ledger, what are the chart of accounts we have, what are the calendar we have, same system is selecting. And again, our primary ledger is selected here. Type is ledger and all values. Read and write, full privileges. So if you use primary ledger, what we can access, the same you can access by using this data access set. Okay, full ledger access. Nothing is restricted. This is our system created. Now this data access set, we have to assign to user roles. To user, we assigned only one role. Okay. For the user, we assigned only one role, and that is General Accounting Manager. To this role, we have to assign our primary ledger. Nothing but data access set. We'll go and see that. If you want to assign the primary ledger to GL roles, okay, so go to task called as data access for users. Data access for users. Data access for users. So click on manage data access for a user's task. Okay, click on manage data access for a user's task. Click on go to task icon. What we are going to do, we are going to assign our primary ledger to user. Already we assigned one role to that user, right? We'll see that, how it works. Now click on create. select our user. Here, as of now, we are using the user called as Zoom. Okay. So select same user. And already we assigned one role to this user. Along with implementation consultant, IT security manager, we assigned one GL role that you can see here. That is general accounting manager. To application implementation consultant and IT security manager, you no need to assign anything. Those for setup purpose. General accounting manager role for transaction creation purpose. Select it. General accounting manager. To this general accounting manager, what you want to assign? Our primary ledger. Our primary ledger only copied as a data access set. That means the security context you have to select as a data access set. Data access is equal to your primary ledger only. Because system copied your primary ledger, it created data access set. What is our primary ledger name? Amex USA primary ledger. Reality, this is a primary ledger or data access? Data access set only. Primary ledger name, system copied to data access set. Select it. So this is how we can assign our primary ledger to GL role for specific user. Now this user can have access to general accounting manager role. Within the role, what are the privileges we have, all can be accessed by this user. By using this primary ledger, this user can create transactions with the help of this role. This is what we have to understand here. Any questions, please?
So is it the general accounting manager? What's the role name?
General accounting manager. This is the role. Still, we have few more roles. General accountant, okay, financial analyst, controller, chief financial officer. These are the 5 seeded roles Oracle is providing for GL application. But GL is not going to be our area. We are going to work on supply chain management applications. But what basics we have to understand from GL, for that, this role is enough for us. Any questions here, please? No questions. Now say save and close. Okay. So save and close. Click on done. Now we assigned role to user. To the same role we assign primary ledger. Now these assignments need to be updated in the system environment. For that, we have to submit Ldap job. Now you can go to navigator. Okay. So within the navigator, can you see general accounting? Can you see general accounting anywhere? No. But we assign GL role called as general accounting manager. Because of the role, system should display general accounting as one of the section, like tools. It has to show one section called as general accounting. It is not showing. Why it is not showing? We assign the GL role to our user. To the same role we assigned our primary ledger. These all are not updated properly in the system. Okay, these all are not updated in the system. So that is the reason system is not displaying. For that, what we have to do is we have to run Ldap job. Okay, we have to run Ldap job. So what does it mean by Ldap? Ldap is one of the directory service. Okay, Ldap is one of the directory service. Ldap stands for Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. Okay, L stands for lightweight, D stands for directory, A stands for access, P stands for protocol. Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. By using this Ldap job, whatever the roles are assigned to the user, to the same roles, whatever the primary ledgers are assigned, everything can be updated in the Ldap directory services. Once these are updated in the Ldap directory services, then only system will display the navigator, whatever we assign to the user. Sometimes it will display immediately before you run this Ldap job. That means one side Oracle is running automated process. The Ldap process in the backend, they trigger with certain frequency. If you run this Ldap job, you can see the immediate changes immediately. If you don't run, system will take time to run and complete that process. Then only you can see the updates. It's always recommended that run Ldap job after assigning your primary ledger to GL roles. If you run Ldap job, so you'll be able to see, okay, general accounting manager within this navigator. Okay, so even if you don't run also, it will display sometimes. Okay, sometimes it will display, but if you run, it will show immediately. That's it. Let's see how to run the Ldap job. Okay, how to run the Ldap job so that our primary ledger related access, okay, you can find from this user with the help of general accounting manager role related functionalities or features, you can say. We'll go and run the Ldap. How to run the Ldap? This task already we completed. To run the Ldap job, go to navigator. So within the navigator, go to tools. Under tools, go to task called as scheduled processes. The tools, go to scheduled processes. Okay, scheduled processes. Now click on schedule new process. So just click on schedule new process. Here you have to find one job called as Ldap. Click on search. Search for LDAP. Don't call it as LDAP, we call it just Ldap. Okay. So provide LDAP term. Click on search. Okay, just click on search. Now with the LDAP term, what are the jobs are available in the instance, it will display. From that, we have to select one job and we have to submit. Right? It will fetch the job name, which includes term called as LDAP. Okay. So this is the job we have to select. Okay. Search with Ldap and you can find the job. These are the 3 jobs you can see. But what we need is retrieve latest LDAP changes. Select this job and click on OK. What is the purpose of the job? You can see here. It will synchronize users, user-related roles, and role grants within the definition of Ldap. So within the lightweight directory access protocol directory services, what are the users are created, to which user, what roles are assigned, to those roles, what primary ledger is assigned, all this information system will update in the directory services. As per the directory services updates, only user can have access. Okay. So we assigned application implementation consultant and IT security manager roles to user, but we never submitted this job, not required. Those are seeded, it will sync immediately. Okay. And here we are assigning the role which is specific to one application. Now the role, whatever we assign to the user, that is GL related. Application implementation consultant, IT security manager, those are not application specific. Those are the common roles. So now we assigned GL application specific role. To that role, we assigned our primary ledger also. That is the reason we have to submit this job. Okay. The purpose is this. It will synchronize. It will update all these details, changes in the directory services. Whatever the information is updated in the directory services, accordingly user can have access. Okay, accordingly user can have access. Now, say for example, in the same instance, you created your primary ledger and I created my primary ledger, and you assign the role and you assign your primary ledger to your user GL role. And I also did the same from my end. If I'm going to run this job, you no need to run, because this runs at entire instance level. This is not user specific. What this job is going to do is, in the entire instance, what are the new users are created, new roles are assigned, new primary ledgers are assigned to those roles, all it will identify and it will update. Okay. If I'm running, it is not going to run this process only for my primary ledgers and what are the roles I assign to my user. We transfer all the users related updates. Remember this part. Now click on OK.
It's
okay.
Same as.
Sorry?
It's something same as replicate seed data in EBS.
No. Replicate seed data purpose is different. What is the purpose of replicate seed data in EBS?
Like when we define any waves, new operating units.
Yeah. When you create multi-org structure.
Yeah.
Okay. When you create the multi-org structure, so to start with your system, you need some fundamental data, some basic data. When you run the replicate seed data program, replicate means copy.
Copy. Yeah.
Replicate seed data program. What are the fundamental data is required to work on that instance for your multi-org structure? It will copy the data to your multi-org structure, especially for your business units. Here, what purpose we are running this? Whatever we need to update those, that's all. Okay. We assigned roles to user. To the roles we assigned primary ledger. Those are not updated in the directory services immediately. We are trying to update. Whatever system has to do immediately, those are not happened. To happen those, we are running this. That's all. It is not going to bring any data. It is not going to copy any data. It is going to update these users' role assignments and primary ledger assignment to GL role in the directory services. Even if you don't run this also, it happens automatically. It takes some time.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a purpose. Click on submit. Say OK. Refresh. Just refresh. It will take a couple of minutes time to complete. But what you can do is, you no need to wait till this job status will turn into succeeded. You don't need to wait till the job status will into succeeded. So submit this, wait for at least 1 minute, the updates it will take, and we can go and check it will work. If required, we'll wait, but you don't need to wait for more than 1 or 2 minutes. Let's wait for just 1 minute. Now the status is running. The status should turn into succeeded for this retrieve latest LDAP changes. That is expected status, but you wait for just 1 minute, not require more than 1 minute. After 1 minute, we can go and check it will work. Just wait for 1 minute. After 1 minute, you can see from this user, the general accounting section. In that, you will have access to general ledger application pages. Just refresh. You click on this logo, Oracle logo, the page will get refreshed. Entire page will go to home page. Now go to navigator. Check whether we got access to general accounting or not. See, now we have a general account. We are able to see this general accounting here because of this role we assigned to the user. Okay, we got access. Sometimes, even if you see this, with this you cannot do anything. If this is not synchronized properly, if it is not updated in the directory services properly, you cannot do anything. Let's try. Let's hope it will work now. So expand general accounting. Within that, we have a different tasks. These all we call as a tasks. General accounting dashboard, journal, speed close. Now what we have to do? Okay, we submitted Ldap job. If you want to create any transactions within the GL application by using our primary ledger, we have to open the GL periods. Without opening the GL periods, you cannot enter the transactions. Okay, we'll go and open GL periods so that in the GL application, we can enter the transactions. Okay. So to open the GL periods, what is the navigation? Click on navigator, go to general accounting, expand it. within this general accounting section, you can see one task called as period close. Okay, period close. So the task name is period close. The same task we can use to open the periods as well as to close the periods also. Now we are using this task to open the periods. Just click on period close task. Click on period close task. It's not, see, it's not taking us to that page. That means the synchronization is not completed properly. You click on period close, it should take us to period close page. It is not taking, it is just bouncing back to home page. That means still this job is running. Okay, still this job is running. 100% synchronization is not done. 100% updates are not completed. So
Laxman, how can we check
updates are done.
these?
That is 1 second. That is the reason. Okay, it is showing only this, but we are not able to access to those pages. Okay, we'll wait for some time, or else you can do one thing: sign out and sign in. Sign out and sign in and try. Still, if it is not going to support, we have to wait for some time. Yeah, please. Any question?
Yeah. Question is how we can check the status of the running program.
The same navigation from where we submitted that program. Navigator, right? Tools. Under tools, we have to go to scheduled processes. From here we submitted, from there only you can see. Yeah. Retrieve latest LDAP changes. Still it is running. No issues. Now we just disconnected and connected.
It doesn't tell that, right? How many percent completed like that?
No, that you don't see. That you can see from back end only.
Okay.
Not an issue. Just you submit and wait for 1 minute. Later you can go with the next step. Okay, if it is going to support, okay, or else wait for 1 more minute. Sometimes, depending on the load of the data and all, it may take 5 minutes, 10 minutes also in some instances. But ideally, you can expect to wait for 1 or 2 minutes max. Later, you can proceed with your next activity. It will support.
Okay, so to open and close periods, we need to use this navigation stuff, going through the implementation for it and searching for a task. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
To get access to anything, not only to open or close. Say, for example, I want to work on GL application. GL roles I assign to this user. To the GL role, I assign my primary ledger. If I want to work on GL by using my primary ledger, we have to submit this Ldap job. Whatever the assignments we did, those need to be updated in the system. Okay. Yeah, one of the activity what we are doing is opening the periods. Yeah, opening the periods. That's all. So go to
all these tasks should be done through GL application, and what we are doing here is running the job to see the GL application on home page to perform more activities.
Yes. So far, what we did almost for primary ledger purpose only, right?
Yes.
Create the primary ledger. Now, primary ledger is ready. By using that, how to create the transaction GL, we want to understand. So we are doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, again, it is not showing in the navigator. That means the synchronization is not happened properly. The updates are not happened properly. So in those scenarios, what we can do is you can click on tools, you can go to schedule process or some other page. Now go to navigator, sometimes it will display. Still it is not displaying. No. So again, sign out and sign in because the synchronization is not completed. Still it is running the program, right? I'll say job. Username is Joe. Let's try now. Go to navigator. Now it is showing general accounting, expand it. Now we want to open GL periods. General accounting is nothing but general ledger application. Instead of displaying the name as general ledger, that they are showing as a general accounting. The reality, general accounting is the application which Oracle started applications development. At that time, the first application what they developed is GL application. At that time, the name they used as a general accounting only. Okay, first Oracle developed general ledger application only. Initially they used the name as general accounting. So that's how they're referring here, general accounting. Now click on period close task. Not to close, to open. Both activities you can do from this task. Now, okay, we are able to access that period close page. So this user got access to MX USA primary ledger. We assigned that data access set, right? This is the data access set we assigned. Okay, data access set we assigned. Now, here you can see the current period is July. Okay, current period is July. How it is taking July, how system knows as per our system date, it will take the current period here. And what is the status of current period for general ledger application? Never open. Okay, the current period status is never open. We created our accounting calendar starting period as June, right? So if you want to open July period, you have to open all previous periods. You have to open Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June. Then only you can open July. So that's how it works. Now to open the periods from right from beginning to till July month, click on never open status. Our general ledger application, July period status is never open. Not only July, you select any period, status is never open. Now click on this never open status. Click on never open status. Now system is asking, it identified within this MX USA primary ledger, we have our accounting calendar. In our accounting calendar, the very first period is Jan. It is asking us, do you want to open that Jan 22 as a first period? Yes, Jan 22 is our first period. We don't have any other option to open other periods as a first period. Same period we have to open. Say okay. So in our accounting calendar, first period is Jan 22. The same we are opening. Just click on refresh. Now it is showing Jan 22 period status is open. Now you can create the transactions in the Jan 22, but we are not in the Jan, we are in the July. To open the July period, what you can do is you can open one by one like this. You can select Feb and you can say open period and click on refresh. Okay, click on refresh. Now Feb period status is open. Now you can select March, click on open period and click on refresh. This is how you can open one by one. If you don't want to open one by one, directly you can select July period. So now how many periods are open? Up to March periods are open. If you select directly July, in between March and July, what are the periods we have, all system will open automatically. How to open that? Go to actions, say open target period. Okay, select open target period. So select our current period as a target period. Our current period is July. Select July, say open. Say yes. Click on refresh. In inventory application and purchasing application, if you want to record the transactions in the July month, here period should be open. Remember this. Okay. So for inventory and purchasing applications, we don't have any concept called as opening the periods. If you want to create the transactions in inventory or purchasing, there is no periods concept. No need to open, no need to close. There is no periods concept for inventory and purchasing. In Fusion applications, to create the transactions in inventory in July month, in GL, July period should be open. If you want to create the transactions in the purchasing application in July month, okay, within the purchasing application, if you want to create the transactions in July month, the July period should be open within our primary ledger. Here only you have to open. That means in inventory and purchasing, what are the transactions we are going to create, those applications will use GL period only If the period is open, there you can create the transaction. If period is not open, you cannot create the transaction. That's how the controls will work. Okay. Separately, there is no concept of opening the periods for inventory and purchasing in Fusion. In EBS, we have. In EBS, separately, we have to open the periods in inventory and purchasing. Okay. But in the Fusion, it is not like that. Okay. They changed the game. Fine. Now let's try to understand the status of the periods. Okay. Here you can see we have a different statuses. The period status is open. Period status is closed. Period status is permanently closed. Period status is future enterable. So what is the meaning of these statuses? Let's try to understand. This will be useful in all the applications. In any application, if you are going to use the period concept, the same logic is applicable. Okay. We'll go and see that. Say period statuses. Okay, period statuses. What are the statuses we have? Open, close,
never open,
permanently
close, future.
Enterable. Please don't forget to mute yourself. You want to ask any question when you speak anything. Yes, you can unmute and you can do that. After that, don't forget to unmute. Sorry, don't forget to mute. Yeah, please. Done. So these are the period statuses. If any period status, it can be a GL application or you take any other applications. In any application, if period status is open, you can create the transactions. You can create the transactions and you can process those transactions. As per GL, processing transactions is nothing but posting. Posting means processing. GL, whatever we create, those we call as journals. That means in GL, okay. So in GL, if period status is open, you can create the journals, nothing but transaction. In GL, whatever you create, that we call a journal. Reality, we don't create the transaction in GL. All the transactions we create in the subledger applications only. From there, we bring the data to GL to prepare the reports on. But there is an option to create the transaction if you want to create, that we call a journal. So if the period status is open, you can create the journal and you can post it. What is the use of posting? If you post the journal, within the journal, whatever the accounts we are going to give, whatever the amounts we are going to give, these amounts will be updated on those accounts. That means if you post the journal, the balances can be updated against the accounts. If you create journal and if you post, there is no use of that journal. Okay, it is similar to that. In the online, you are filling one application, but you are not submitting. If you don't submit, there won't be any response from other side. Okay, just you have to fill the data, you have to submit. Once you submit, it will be submitted where it has to go. So that's how you can take the advantage of that application, what you are filling. In the same way, in GL, if period status is open, you can create the journal and you have to post it. It is nothing but submission. You submit. Within the journal, whatever the accounts and amounts you enter, those will get updated in the system environment. Otherwise, it will be lying in the system as a journal is not posted. If period status is closed, you cannot create the journals. Okay, you cannot create journals, means no journals can be created. Okay, period status is closed, no journals can be created. No journal can be created means no posting also. If period status is permanently closed, no journals can be created. But what is the difference between closed and permanently closed status? You can say closed or closed. Okay. What is the difference between closed and permanently closed status? If period status is closed, yes, no journals can be created. You cannot create any journals in the GL. But if period status is closed, you can reopen the period. If you reopen, again, it will be open so that you can create the journals and you can post. there is an option to reopen if period status is closed. If period status is permanently closed, you cannot reopen. Okay, you cannot reopen. It is permanently closed. You cannot reopen. If period status is future enterable, you can create the journals, but you cannot post. Okay, no posting. So we are in July month. So July month means current period. Current period only we keep always as a open. The next period automatically system will take as a future enterable period, because in the ledger level there is one field. How many future enterable periods you require? 1. That's how system takes automatically. So whenever you open any period, automatically the next period will become future enterable. So it will allow you to enter the transactions now itself. Okay. For example, you got some documents from the supplier for current month and next month also. You want to enter those in the system. So if future enterable period is, if you have a future enterable period next period, you will be able to enter in the system now itself, because period status is future enterable. But you cannot process those. That means you cannot do the posting. Ideally, we don't use the future enterable periods to enter the transaction, but that's how we have to understand. Always we enter transaction the current period. So these are the like different statuses. When we talk about period statuses, the same statuses are applicable in all the applications wherever we have period opening and closing concept. Okay, you take any other application, same status is applicable. Take GL or take payables or take any other application. Anyway, in inventory and purchasing, we don't have that concept. The same time in the order management also, we don't have any periods concept. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. So any questions here to understand this period statuses, please? No questions. Now we'll go on to create the journal within the GL. Our period status is open, right? July period status is open. If you want to close previous periods, you can close. But reality, what we do is end of the July month, we close the July month and we'll open the August month. End of the August month, we close the August period and we'll open the next month, September. So this is the practice we follow. Previous periods we don't require. If you want to close, you can close. If these are open, these will allow us to enter the transactions. You can select this record, click on close period, and it will update the status. Just click on refresh, it will update the latest status against that period. Close period, refresh, closed. Okay, period status closed. Now you cannot enter transactions in John. If you want to reopen, you can do that. Select John, open period. If you close the period, then you will be able to close the period permanently. Okay, directly you cannot close any period permanently. First you have to close. If the period status is closed, you can go to actions. Here you can find permanently closed. If the period status is closed, then the permanently closed action will be enabled. You can close permanently by selecting this. That's how you can do. Reality, we never do permanently close. Okay, it is not at all recommended. The option is available. So this is all about period statuses. Now you can create the transactions in the GL. Okay, reality, we don't create transactions just for, since the option is available, let's try to understand. By creating the transaction, we can understand few points which are related to labels. Fine. Let's see how to create the journal in GL. Whatever we create in the GL as a transaction, those we call journals. Okay, accounting period July status is open for general ledger application. For other applications, nothing. Anyway, we didn't implement those applications. By default, never opened only. Done. Now we'll go and create the journal. Go to When you talk about journal, okay, the structure of journal is journal header information, journal line information. So in the header information, you can provide the journal you are going to create with which primary ledger, in which period you are going to create, on which date you are going to create, and in which currency you are going to create. Those details you can provide in the journal header level. When you talk about journal lines, you can provide the description. Okay. So what activity you are doing, that related accounting entries you can enter. When you create the transactions in GL, then only we have to enter the accounts. Which account should goes to debit, which account should goes to credit. Reality we don't do here. If you do, that's how manually you have to do. If you are going to record the transactions in the subledger applications, automatically accounting happens. Okay, automatically accounting takes place with the help of accounting method. Accounting method is not applicable in the GL. That is the reason you have to enter the lines through manual process. So whenever you create the journal with the header and line information, for every journal, automatically system creates one batch. Even if you create single journal also, system will take that information as a batch. That means this is a structure of journal you have to understand. Every journal system will treat as a batch. Within that batch, you can create the journal. How you can create the journal? First, you have to provide the header information, then lines information. Okay. So we'll go and see journal creation. To create the journal, go to navigator. Under journal accounting, we have a task called as journals. Click on journals task. Click on journals task. Now click on task list. Now click on task list. Click on task list. Here we can find one task called as create journal. How we are able to see all these? Not only this, here also. Okay. So general accounting, under that we have 3 tasks. Okay. Under each task, you can see different tasks, subtasks. These all are the privileges. This all you can do in the GL. This all how we are able to see because of general accounting manager role. In this role, we have all these access, all these privileges. Okay. Now click on create journal. Create journal. Here you can see journal batch. This is the batch information. Here journal. This is journal header information. Here journal lines, line information. Okay. So that's how you can see the structure of journal. The header batch level, you don't need to enter anything. If you want to give some batch name, you can give. Even if you don't give the batch name, system will create the name automatically. But you can notice system is selecting our accounting period here. How system is selecting accounting period? Within this primary ledger, it is displaying as a data access. Yes, primary ledger is copied as a data access. You call it as a primary ledger only. Okay. Is copied as a data access. That's all. That is a primary ledger only. Call it as primary ledger, nothing wrong. Reality, that is data access, but it's copied from primary ledger. Call it as primary ledger only. So within this primary ledger, we have accounting calendar. Within that accounting calendar, the latest period is July. Just now we opened. So within this primary ledger, whatever the calendar you have, within that calendar, what is the very latest open period? That period it will select here. Now, if you go and open August month, it will select here August only. Never open future periods. Okay, if you are in Jan, enter open up to Jan. If you are in the July, enter up to July only. So if you open August month in our primary ledger, so whenever you come to this page, it will take August month. Okay, so that's how system will take latest open period. Latest open period. In our accounting calendar, which is part of our primary ledger, the latest open period is July. Fine. Here journal section. You can give the journal name, otherwise system will take the name automatically. Whenever you save this journal, it will take the name automatically, or else let's give the name as, say, salaries journal. For our testing, we never create salary related journals in GL. Salaries and all need to be processed from SCM application. Okay, exactly, payroll application. Here also I'm giving just for testing to understand how to use this primary ledger to create the transaction to understand we are doing this. Okay, salaries. Now, so within our primary ledger, okay, what currency we given? USD, the same currency it is taking. Okay, within our primary ledger, we given the currency. See here, this data access set is created against which primary ledger? That primary ledger is displaying. Okay, both are same. Okay. So within this primary ledger, what currency we selected? USD. The same it is defaulting, it is displaying. So it is displaying the period and date from accounting calendar, and from our primary ledger it is displaying the currency. Okay, if you want to create the journal with other currencies, foreign currencies, you can select here. These all are enabled in this instance. You can select. If you want to select any other currency, for example, you want to create in the journal in INR currency. Okay, you want to create journal in INR currency, then you can select INR. Between ledger currency and INR, you have to set the rates. Okay, you have to set the rates, then only it will work. Okay, let's select our ledger currency on what system is taking, accept it. Now, so this journal, where we are creating in the GL application. For GL application name, you can see as a manual. Within the GL, we are creating manual. We are creating the source manual means it is equal to GL application. Remember, okay, source means where we are creating the journal within the GL. For GL, they are giving the name as manual. If you see any journal source as a manual, you have to understand that that journal is created within the GL. And what purpose you are creating this journal? That purpose you can give as a category. What purpose you are creating this journal? Say, for example, salaries purpose. I think the category is not there. No issues. You can take any one of the category. I'm taking as some adjustments. Reality, the salaries and all need to be processed in the payroll. There is some issue, and here I am trying to adjust some amounts which are missing here. Those I want to add it. Okay. So select category, what purpose you are creating the journal, that you can select as a category. Now, so when we create the journals and we create any transaction in the GL, we use 3 C's only we discussed. And under we are using the date and the period. Currency system is taking. Now we are going to use the chart of accounts. The chart of accounts, you can create the description that you can create with the journal lines. So here it is not displaying the search field. Here you can drag little right. Drag little right. Here is the search field. Click on search. I'm selecting company. 1000. I want to create this journal for company 1000. Select any one of the department. So I want to pay the salaries that I want to record here, salaries account, and say OK. Okay. Here I'm entering $10,000. Ledger currency. Okay. Within the ledger, we have USD, same currency. We are entering the journal lines, $10,000. Now go to line 2. In line 1, we entered salaries account. Line 2, you can enter cash account. That means salaries you are paying. You paid. Click on search. Here I am selecting company 2000. I'm selecting finance department. Here I am selecting account called as Citibank cash account. I'll say OK. I'll say 10,000. Okay. Now what we can do is click on what label we assign to company segment. Which label we assign? Which label we assign to company segment? Anyone, please?
Balancing segment.
Yeah. Primary balancing segment label we assign. Now we will understand why we assign. Okay. Click on save. Okay. Just click on save and click on complete. If you want to enter one more journal within the batch, you can click on add and you can create one more journal in the same batch. We don't want to enter. The batch process we are completing, we don't want to create. Now click on post. Okay, we want to update these balances against these accounts. So these balances we want to update with these accounts. The 10,000 should goes to salaries account with this combination. This 10,000 should goes to cash account with this account, company and departments. Now I'm trying to post. So there is one accounting rule. It says if you are creating the transaction, every transaction need to be balanced with the same balance and segment value. Now say okay. Okay. So when you create accounting, as per balancing rule, every transaction need to be balanced at balancing segment value level. Now you see what happens. Click on refresh to see the batch status. Here batch status is enough. So what is the batch status? The journal is not balanced by balancing segment values. Rest you leave it. That is something else that you don't need to understand now. The journal is not balanced by balancing segment values. So when you create the journal, whatever you are selecting, debit company, that should be equal to credit. That's how you have to record the transaction so that will support your reporting. Here it is like the salaries belongs to this company, but other company is paying. That's a different story. That is intercompany transaction. That's a different story. So here the reality how it would be, the expenses belongs to 1,000 and the 1,000 company 1,000 only paying the salaries. So in every transaction, the balancing segment value need to be balanced in the debit and credit. The debit line and credit line, you have to use the same balancing segment value. So users may enter by mistake in the debit one and credit one. Who will take care of all those mistakes? That is the reason we are assigning primary balancing segment label to company. When you assign primary balancing segment label to company, system will verify. That means the primary balancing segment label will verify in every transaction. The primary balancing segment label is assigned to which segment, the segment values are balancing or not. So if you don't assign primary balancing segment label to company, you can select company 1,000 in the debit, 2,000 in the credit. You will be able to process it. If you process like that, there is no meaning in the transaction. So to balance the transaction, every transaction to balance the company values, we assign primary balancing segment label to company. The company values became balancing segment values. So this is the purpose we assign. Okay. In every transaction, the debit company should be equal to credit company as per accounting rules. To implement that solution, we are using primary balancing segment label. Now I will go on to correct it. Okay, can we correct here directly? If we click on that row, it is not opening, it is not enabling edit option. Now what we can do is click on cancel, go to task list, click on manage journals. Just click on manage journals. Now click on search. Here is the journal. Okay, the journal what we created that you can see here. That means we are searching within the July period. If any journals are available, we want to find. Click on search. Only one journal we created, that system will display. Now select this journal record, click on edit. Now in the debit and credit, you have to select same balance and segment value. $1,000. Already accounts are different. Even you can take the department different, no issues. To which segment we are assigning primary balance and segment label, that segment level only, the value should get balanced in debit and credit. Okay. Only company level, those need to be balanced. Department accounts, no issues. It could be anything. You want to produce the reports at company level. So in every transaction, you have to select the company's properly. The debit and credit, that should be same, so that you will be able to produce the reports, what happened, like how much you have to pay, how much you paid, how much is pending, this and all you can track. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make this as a 20,000. Debit I entered 10,000, credit I am entering 10,000. Now click on save. Again, it is giving the message that total debit and credits for the journal batch are not equal. Still we are proceeding. Okay. Say yes. Now click on post. Click on post. Say okay. Now click on refresh. Just click on refresh. Now see, the journal is unbalanced. Rest of message you leave it. That's a different concept and all. See here, system is saying we are not able to post it. It is stopping. What is the issue? The journal is unbalanced. Okay. When you create journal, debit amount should be equal to credit, or you can say credit amount should be equal to debit. That is a rule which we have to follow when you do the accounting. So who is finding this issue? Primary balance and segment label only. Okay. So the primary balance and segment label, what it is doing? The company level, the debit and credit is same or not, same balance and segment values we are selecting or not. If you are not selecting, it will stop. Debit amount is equal to credit amount or not, that also primary balance and segment label only validating, verifying. So now if you correct this amount with 10,000 or this line as a 20, and ultimately both should be equal, then system will allow us to post the journal. So just cancel this. Okay. Again, click on search, it will get updated. Now select this record, or else directly you can click on journal's name. Now update the amount. Debit should be equal to credit. You want to make it as 10 or 20 in the two lines. You want to make it as 10. Update to 10. Now balance and segment value or primary balance and segment label will allow us to post this journal, because balance and segment values are same in the debit and credit. Debit amount is equal to credit amount. Now you can save it, submit for posting. You will be able to post the journal. If you are able to post the journal, that is a meaningful information in the system. Click on refresh. Now you can see batch status post. Batch status posted means this journal, okay, this transaction you finalized. Now these balances will get updated against this account code combination. So hope you got the point. What is the purpose we are using primary balance and segment label? Any questions on this, please? Okay. So what segment level you want to generate the reports to that segment means what segment level you want to find out the profitability, what segment level you want to balance all the transactions, okay, to that segment. you can how to assign primary balance and segment labels so that it will make sure that in every transaction, the balance and segment values are getting balanced and debit amounts are equal to credit amounts. And so that you will be able to find out the profitability at balance and segment level. Company is balancing because we are assigning this to a company owner. And what is the purpose of natural account segment label? If you assign natural account segment label to account segment, when you create the values for account segment, you will be able to set the nature for those accounts, or you can set the account types because of natural account segment label only. And why we are assigning the department cost center segment label? If you are going to implement fixed assets applications, cost center segment label you have to assign to department so that department wise you will be able to track the depreciation and you can create accounting. The same way, if you are going to implement fusion expense application to record employee expenses, the cost center segment label is required at department level. So these are the two cases where it is required. Now we are not going to work on fixed assets application. We are not going to work on expense application. For us, it is not required. To make you to understand where we use this label in case of department, I included in our discussions and practice. Yep. So this is what we have to understand. Okay. So this is how you can use this primary ledger. Now this primary ledger, just it's okay. We are able to create the journals in the GL. That means in any application, you will be able to use this primary ledger. Yep. So when we design the solution, like when we are going to do the implementation to any client, what are the points we have to understand? Those we will discuss in the tomorrow session. So once that is done, we can start with the applications one by one. Okay. So maybe let's see, like in tomorrow session, if we can complete that, okay. Or else we'll see, like first we have to understand the concept, not in one session or two sessions. That is not our target. So we have to understand the concept. If we are going to work on any application, these are the fundamental information we should aware so that our job will become easy. Right? So how to design the solution for any company when we are going to implement the fusion applications, those points we'll discuss in the tomorrow session. Any questions on today's session, please? No questions.
Laxman, can you open the application?
Your voice is very low. Please.
Yeah, can you open the application page, Laxman? Now, is it better?
Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah, this is the application.
Yeah. The below debit and credit when you come there.
Oh, you want to look at journal? Okay.
Yeah, because since we have
yeah, tell me.
less idea about this, because you said this has to be balanced, debit and credit.
Correct. Debit should be equal to credit. It's like we spend salaries and we are paying.
Like for this first segment.
Yeah, first segment.
That is company, right?
Correct. First one is company. Here and here, both cases company on.
Yeah, both company, it has to be balanced.
Say for example, here if you are going to enter 10 lines, here we enter 2 lines only, right?
Yeah.
So salaries may be 10,000, travel expense may be 5,000, some other expense may be 5,000. Okay. And you may create only one line as a cash account. You may have a 2 lines or 20 lines or 100 lines. In all the lines, okay, you have to use same balance and segment value because, okay, which is a balancing company. Why we are calling company as a balance and segment values? We assign primary balance and segment label to company.
Yes. Debit, you mean debit means company is spending the money.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it totally depends. Depending on the transactions, what we are doing, what debit, what credit, we can take that. We'll see, like when we are dealing with accounting and all, we'll see that. Okay, we'll work on the P2P cycle. I'll explain accounting, how it flows, how it works, which transaction. This is just manual entry. You can pass anything, no issues. System will create as per actual rules. There we will try to understand. Generally, if you are paying the salaries to the employees and all, this is how you have to create accounting. Salaries debit and cash is credit. You are paying now. You are not paying. You want to pay later. Now you want to record in the system as we have to pay this much to employees. The salaries account you will take as a debit. Liability account you will take as a credit.
Okay.
If you want to pay later, salaries expense is debit and liability account is credit. If you are paying now only, directly salaries account debit and cash account is credit.
Okay, still I have doubt on this.
Yeah, this is the accounting related. Okay, you just remember what we did. That's enough as of now. Just to understand journal creation only, we are doing this. They're not going to get into some accounting part. Yeah. When we create the transactions which are related to our supply chain management, we will discuss over. Yeah.
Okay. In accounting rules, in our supply chain accounting rules. Okay.
Yes. In purchasing, PO tab,
purchasing. Okay.
Accounting.
OM, okay.
Yeah, those there we will understand. Like that is our area, right?
Yes. Okay.
So there we'll try to understand. Here, just to understand how we can create the transaction by using the primary ledger, we are creating it. At the same time, we want to understand what is the use of primary balance and segment label. If you want to understand here why salaries expense account is debiting, cash account is crediting, you may just Google like golden rules for accounting. Yeah. There they'll describe like in which scenario what should be debited, what should be credited. If you want to understand accounting part, that there you can just Google.
Okay. Like, I mean, just in simple way, in general, like debit means company is paying us, credit means company is getting money.
Yes. What we spend that we debit. Okay. What we pay that we credit. That's all. Here in this scenario, that's what you have to understand. What we spend that always debits to us. What we pay that will be credited. From company account, it will, the amount will go to, it will go right. It's but account point of view, just you will say that is the debit for our account, but accounting point of view. So in our books, we have to credit it. Simple point is what we spend. Okay. What we spend, that is expense, that is debit to us. What we pay, that is credit to us. The company books. Yep. So that you can make a note or else ignore. With this, we are not going to do anything. Okay. With this, you are not going to learn any like a supply chain management related process and all. There we have accounting part. As per the processes, we will discuss and we'll understand.
Okay.
Yep. Done. So click on cancel to close this page. Done. Because still, if you want to understand, it's accounting means finance part, finance area, it's related to GL and all. Still, if you want to understand golden rules in accounting, okay, golden rules in accounting, you just Google, it describes in simple manner. Okay, the 3 type of classifications, in which scenario, what is debit, what is credit, that you may go through. If you understand, okay, or else leave it, no issues. That is not required for us when you work on SCM. If you want to have a basic understanding, yes, you can go through it. So any other questions from anyone, please? It seems to no questions. If no questions, that's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow same time and we'll talk about how to design the solution for any company when you implement Fusion applications. Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Laxman, these videos we get on every daily basis, Laxman?
Yeah, as of now, okay, temporarily what I'm doing is I'm uploading in YouTube only.
But yesterday's
yesterday one is I not yet uploaded. Till day before yesterday, I uploaded everything. The yesterday video and today video, I'll upload today itself.
So that should be 10 days, right?
Yeah, 10 videos already uploaded. Yesterday video is 11th video. Today session is 12th video.
Oh, okay.
So already these 10 videos I uploaded. I created one playlist. You can just find in all the videos in the sequence. So after a few days, everything I'll move to Google Drive and I'll give the access to Google Drive.
Okay.
I'll do that. Fine. Okay. So done. We'll connect tomorrow same time. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.